Joining us now is Kristin Beck, a transgender retired Navy SEAL officer. Kristin has completed 13 tours of duty and also ran for the House of Representatives in Maryland back in 2013. Kristin, really want to hear your reaction to all of this happening. But first of all, what did you make of the White House press secretary's response to Major's questions?
Well, it sounds like what they always do at the White House is they don't answer the question and they just kind of keep going around in circles. They give us part of the information, but not all of it. And the most important information that is missing is what happens to all the people who are currently serving. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of people that you're going to take that contract away. You basically made a safe zone for all of the people serving in uniform. You took that safe zone, a safe, clear haven, and now you're bombing it. You lit it on fire. And now what are we supposed to do?
Well, that's a good question. What is the community going to do? There's talk that at least one advocacy organization is threatening a lawsuit, but you heard Ms. Huckabee Sanders say that implementation is already being discussed.
Well, there's been a lot of really good leaders within the Pentagon working on policy, working on the instructions, working on everything. There's been thousands and thousands, a million man hours put into implementing the transgender people to openly serve. And there's a lot of transgender folks who are a lot of good friends of mine who are right now in the middle of transition, who are in uniform serving. And now you're going to pull the rug out from under them? So, and the contracts are set. They have contracts. So you're going to break those contracts. So that's why there's going to be a huge, talk about expensive. Oh my God, the lawsuits and everything else going to happen. That contracts are made. They were legal to serve. They were good to serve. And now it's gone.
Yeah.
So the expense is going to be much more than it ever would have been if you just let all those folks serve.
Yeah, and it's not clear if they will be kicked out, those that are already serving, some 2,450 of them, according to the RAND Corporation, or not. What about, Kristin, the president's argument that allowing trans members will adversely impact the service? He talks about cost, and he talks about morale. As somebody who has served and served for so long, what's your response to that?
Well, my response is, first, the cost is just, it's outlandish that he thinks that this is going to be more expensive. You can buy one wheel on that Joint Strike Fighter and pay for all those surgeries. I mean, now you're going to talk about the lawsuits and everything else, it's more expensive. So it's really gone down the wrong path. As far as the disruption that he said in his tweet, as far as the morale and everything else, I 20 years Navy SEAL. I have a couple of SEAL team buddies who are kind of upset and they're like, you know, what's going on? But then once you explain to them, you know, what's that one word you can use to explain America? I would say it's liberty. I would say my individual liberty, my freedom, this is what it is. Now, are you going to take that away from me? I mean, America is about liberty, it's about freedom. And it's freedom for all people, not just him, not just his friends. It's freedom for every American living and breathing. We're right here, past, present, and future. I fight for liberty, and this is my personal liberty. He just took that away.
Kristin, can you tell me a little bit about your journey into the transition? Because obviously when you were a Navy SEAL, I mean, the Navy SEALs still don't allow women, I believe, to serve. So talk a little bit about your journey and what that was like and what your role is now in advocating for transgender individuals in the military.
Yeah. Well, first I would say that my journey is I was born as a human being, and I was born in God's image. Now, this is my image, and this is who I am, and this is the way I always was. Now, sometimes all that can't be, you know, out there, you know, totally exposed, because in the beginning when I was in the SEAL teams, it was not allowed. You can't be a woman, you can't be transgender at the time I was serving. And so I just did the best I could. That was my challenge. That's the challenge God gave me. And I don't know, according to 1 John 4:20, I would say that for, you know, if you believe in God and this is where all your love is, and you can't love your neighbor who lives next door to you see every day, that's basically like a paraphrase, but this is who I am. And so if you can't look at me and as an American understand my liberty is this right here, what you see in front of you, and you can't respect that, and I can't live with my own dignity, then you're not American. That's not the American way. So I would say there's a long way for him to go. He just had all those kids there from the American Legion, and he had spent an hour with them. Could you spend, you know, 20 minutes with maybe the transgender community, the LGBT community? How about 20 minutes with the Pentagon, with the staff, with all those general officers, and kind of explain yourself a little bit? You know, how about a little bit of respect for us that served in uniform? So that's what I would challenge him with. There's a better way to do it.
Yeah. Kristin Beck, thank you so much for sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you.